Hi, and welcome to the third video in my Google Sheets tutorial series. In this one we are going to look at three common formulas. The first one is an if formula, and we are only going to look at the very basic example of an if formula. We will then look at count and also COUNTIF. Now, in this example, I am going to use an if statement to determine whether or not the people on this list have passed their test. So we can see in the column here that we have test marks. These are the results of the individuals who have completed a test. And I'm going to add a simple column here for pass or fail. And as we've seen before, Google Sheets will continue the formatting of the table along for us. Now we're going to put in an if statement. Now this statement is simply going to say if the value in cell or column E, so in this example I'm going to do, if the value in column E is 70 or more, it's a pass, and if it's anything else, it's a fail. So we start the formula by putting in an equals at the start. That's now Google Sheets knows we're creating a formula. Type in the function that we're using, which is if, and you can see that Google Sheets actually gives us some information. If returns value depending on a logical expression, and we can hover over and see the other ones available here. On a future video we will look at multiple if statements together. Sometimes that's known as nesting if statements. So we'll say if this happens, do this, and if it doesn't do that, then do this, and put another if statement in there. We won't get too confusing just now. It's much easier to explain that with a live example as to what we're going to do. So in this case we're going to say if, we open a bracket, so if the value in that cell is greater than, and that's the symbol for greater than, or equal to, so we're saying if it's greater than or equal to 70, and 70 is a pass mark. So that's the formula. If that value is greater than or equal to 70, then we press a comma. And you can see Google Sheets is actually helping us out here by giving us some information. And you can see it's highlighting out. So now we're going to put in what is the value if it's true. And if it's true, it means that what if it is greater than or equal to 70? What do we want to happen? And we wanted to say pass. And if we wanted to display text, we have to put that in quotation marks. So we put a quotation mark, pass, close the quotation mark. Then we press comma. And the comma is now what do we want to do if it isn't greater than or equal to 70. In this example that would mean it would be less than 70, so 69 or less, in which case that's a fail. So we do the same as before, the quotation mark, fail, close quotation mark, and then we want to close the formula, and to close the formula we put in the close bracket. And it's quite good. Google Sheets is actually telling us just now that the result of this formula is going to be fail. So before we even press return and submit that, we can see that the result is going to be correct. Fail. That's fine. And let's just test that. So if we change the 63 to 83, it's a pass. So I'll put that back to 63 as it was. So now we want to fill that down, okay? So we've got that there. Now we can click and drag like this to autofill it down. I'll just do it to halfway down, like that. Or we can double click on the box at the bottom right here, and that'll autofill it down to the end of the table where the values stop. And at this point it's good just to double check. I like to go for the last record. So if we go to the last one here, we can see that it's still doing E14, which is that cell, and 70. So that value that we're comparing it against hasn't gone up or down. So that looks okay, and again we can test this. So 71, let's change it to 41, and that goes to fail. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Now within our table here we can see that we have a result for 70 where it says pass, and we in our formula we put in greater than or equal to. If we had missed that equals to, if I just go down to the 70 here, so that's currently a pass, which it is. But if we'd forgotten the equals to symbol, so greater than 70, that would say fail, because that value isn't greater than 70. It is 70, it's not greater than. So if you didn't want to use the equals to, you would have to reduce the number a little bit. So if we didn't want to use greater than or equal to, which is a method I recommend, you would just put in 69, which makes more sense. So if the value in E12 is greater than 69, it would be a pass, and that's what we're looking for. But keep it easy, I'll just undo that change and put it back to greater than or equal to, so that formula is the same. So that's a very basic example of using an if statement within Google Sheets. And again, you're seeing a theming pattern here. It's the very same on Microsoft Excel and probably other spreadsheet packages as well. So yeah, we start off with the equals because we're creating a formula. We then go for the function we're using, which is if, and then everything else goes in brackets. So we put in the condition, which is if the value is greater than or equal to 70, a comma, the value if it's true, it's a pass, and then a comma and the value if it's not true, which in this case is a fail. So that's a nice basic example. The next two we're going to look at are count and COUNTIF as well, and we'll try and put a practical example in here. So count basically counts numbered values within a range. So if I do equals count, open bracket, just like before, and select all of these cells here, you can see that it's counted 13 values, okay? However, that only works where you have numbers, and that's correct because we can select these just now here and see that there are 13 values in there. If we do the same thing here, count, open a bracket, those values there, how many are there? It says 0. Now, over the last 10-15 years, I've worked with Excel a lot and a lot of people, and this is one that often catches people out when they use a count and the question, why is it not counting the values here? And as I said before, count only counts numerical values, which is why it's picked up the employee number fine. It would also pick up the test mark, and it should also pick up the salaries as well if I put that one in there. Yep, so it counts the salaries as well, but it wouldn't count the job titles. And to do that, we use count A, which counts all the values within a cell. So equals count A. And we can see the description there, a count of number of values in a data set. So regardless as to what they are, it could be symbols, it could be letters, numbers, count A will count everything within there. And if I select that just now and close that bracket, it counts 13. So that works really, really well, and that's what we're looking for. Before we finish up this one, I want to finish off with COUNTIF. Now, that's kind of like a bit of count and a bit of if, and it makes perfect sense if you think about it. We want to do a count if the values meet a specific criteria, and we'll do one in this one, okay? So if we type in here, number passed and number failed, and we will use a COUNTIF in here to give us a result, okay? I'll just bold that and give that a little bit of highlight because that's a personal preference of mine. So the number that has passed, so we're going to use COUNTIF, so we're going to do equals COUNTIF and then open the bracket. I'm going to select all of the results which are driven by our if statement. So we've got the range, comma, and now we have to put in the criteria. So what is it we're going to count, if what, and then we want to count if the value in those cells is pass. So COUNTIF, open the brackets, select a range of cells, and we want to count it if it meets that criteria, and it's pass, press return, and then we have 9. And then again, we'll do the same, COUNTIF, open a bracket, select the range, comma, fail, and then we have the count there. Now let's just change one of the records. So we've got 9 and 4, and if I change this one to from 72 to 52, 85. So the values will update automatically, as do the pass-fail results on the side there. So that's a good example. And yeah, I mean, a personal bit of advice, if you're producing data like this, I think it's always good just to tidy it off a little bit. Add the two of those together so we can see how many there, and then you could add in you could put in a percentage as well. So we could put in 4 divided by that value, select those two, format, number and percentage, and that gives us a nice clean percentage as to how many passed or failed. Now this is a simple example because we only have 13 people, but if you had 13,000 people, this is good information to split out. That's all for this particular video. If you have any questions or anything you want to share with me, please do so in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.